solution that's helpful.
Yeah. So let me make sure we're going. I'm pretty sure we're going. Yep. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. And just go ahead and who you are and do that thing again, and
Right.
that way people know.
Okay. I'm His Grace Robert Magnus from Calontir, previous from the Outlands. Today I'm going to talk about battlefield situational awareness and really situational awareness in general, but specifically how to stay alive, also how to be safe. Lots of things that are very important that we tend to not just think about. We get out there and we go, we are going to kill the other guys. That's our plan. And come over here, that'll be great. And so we get very, very focused in. We do all of our training. Woohoo! Here we go. We hit the battlefield. And so there's 4 or 5 things that are really important for you as a fighter coming up to the line before you step out there. And I am sure everybody's had this situation where they're like, okay, and maybe we're packed in a line, we're waiting, and we step out there and we die because we didn't pay attention to anything, right? We were just paying attention to the person that in front of us moved and we went forward, or they yelled, spears forward, shields forward. And you're like, I'm getting up there. Here we go. And we die because we had no idea what we're facing. So the very first thing that you should do before you step on the line, if possible, is what I call threat assessment. We want to know when you step out there, who and how many of the people across from you can actually kill you, right? If we're in a line battle, where we've got spears or whatever, we're 9 foot apart because that's what we do because we're stupid. We're 9 foot apart and you're stepping onto the line. You want to know what can reach me, right? And it's never just the spearmen in front of you. If there are spears, you have to realize it's really 5 one way and 5 another way, and maybe 7 if Edward's one of them or Edmund's one of them, right? But if you think just 5 from that standpoint, that's 1 step for them to reach you and kill you. So you have to be aware of all of them. So first thing I always look for is who's the spearman. And that's whether I have a shield or a spear. I don't actually care. I just want to know who can touch me. Second thing I look for once I've identified that is, are any of the shieldmen feeling froggy? Right? Is there somebody you look at obviously and go, oh crap, they're not just protecting their folks. This is a problem. You can see a column forming up, different things like that, but it's not so much that. There are certain shieldmen, some people with a shield that will sway the battle on their own. They're just as bad as a good spearman out there. And just because they've got a shield does not mean they're not going to wreck your whole freaking line. This Grace Edward comes behind again. All the freaking time he does it. But he's a great example. So Ed, stand up for me, will you? Come here. If you don't know His Grace Edward, he's a wonderful person from the East, but this is something you should always pick out. If you walk across the line and you look and you see somebody this tall, if nothing else, realize that's the threat. And if he has a spear in his hand, it's even worse. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate that. So if you don't know, other than if you look and you go, okay, spears, that's an obvious thing. Okay, I got a shield that's feeling froggy. The next thing is you develop that is going, who's the killer out there? Who's the one that's going to make a difference? Because there are people that hit the line that they have to die. Because if they don't die, they are going to kill all of us. It's just going to happen. There's a number of them. Ed's one of them, by the way. I'm glad he's here today because I get to pick on him a lot. But it's very true. We have fought each other in hundreds of battles at this point. We fought together. It's been amazing. But if he steps across from me, I immediately call it out and I go, Ed's the threat. The guy in red is the threat. Do not let him through. Do not let him do something. Pay attention to him. I'll do it all the time. I do the same thing to my son, Gabe. There are a number of spearmen throughout the world, Havek from the West, tons of them, right? That you look out and go, actually, there's not a ton. There's like 15, honestly, that I go, okay, this is somebody we have to stop now. And there are particular ones. So as you get more experience, you know that. But when you're new, you don't know what anybody is, right? And you might recognize maybe there's somebody with a white belt, which might mean they're a threat, might not, honestly. If you stick to the simple part of going, well, who can reach me? You're better off than anything from that standpoint. Once you've got the threat assessed and you're in place, right, and you're defending yourself, you should not step out there and just start firing without doing that because you're going to die. That's what's going to happen. You're going to throw at the person in front of you and the guy next to you is going to kill you because you didn't look to see there was another spearman there. So the next thing you want to know is, who do I have with me, right? if you're fighting with a unit, you all marched up together, you know that. But often, right, we're in a res battle, we're in different things, and you've just stepped up into a line, and whether you have a spear or shield or whatever, who do I have with me? Or is it anybody I know at all? And it may not be. So the second question is, will they communicate with me, right? So if you're a shieldman and you've just stepped up and you're next to a spearman, how can I help you? Is there something I can do for you? I got your left. Start calling shots for them and just politely talking and see if they respond. Situational awareness, it's important to understand there are people who will not respond at all. There are spearmen who will be like, I don't want you anywhere near me. You want to know, that's fine. But more what you're hoping for is they will go, cover my left, do this. And now you know you're working with somebody. And that's going to make you that much better. And you want to kind of figure that all the way around. As soon as I step up with a spear, I'm looking left and right because I want to know if I've got any other spears that can support me and who will. Mostly we're out there just firing on our own, you know, hey, I'm happy superhero, here we go. But I want to know. And if I look down and I've got somebody one down for me who is somebody I know, it's game on at that point. Because now we will start working together and we can start taking out a threat. And as soon as you take out the first threat, it's dominoes. We can just go down the line and we'll kill the next one, the next one, the next one. And then we go to the shieldman and we're good and we can roll with that. You can't do that if you don't know who's with you, right? So it's really a big deal to get out there and go what's happening around there. That is the same if I'm a spearman with the shieldman around me. Same thing. Is this guy going to protect me or this girl going to actually protect me when that charge comes? And you know, that's another big deal of I see a charge coming and I'm wanting to go, all right, are they just going to run my ass over or is one of these guys actually going to step forward and kill them? That'd be great. You know, you don't know. So we're trying to, you know, you want to assess what the threat is, assess who you have, and then you start into fighting and deciding what your decision you're going to make based on that. If it turned out you've got the threat and you got nobody, okay, you know that at least. You're around somebody, you can use them on your own, do whatever, but at least you know, all right, I can't take a reach on this person because nobody's going to cover me, right? I see the opening there, but nobody's blocking that guy. I'm going to die. I have to go into a defensive posture and I'm dealing with the spearman in front of me in this one. And I'm waiting for both of them to make a mistake at the same time so I can throw. Because otherwise one of them's going to pin cushion me. And that's what I'm going to do. Way different if I have people I'm working with, makes my life 1,000 times easier, doesn't piss me off. And, because I honestly hate to be the guy out there going, I have to kill everybody. Screw you. That's bullshit. It's too much work. I'm too old. I don't like to do that. So I would much rather be able to go out there and go, I'll be bait. How about that? You know, let me distract everybody and you guys can kill them and that'll be fun. And so threat assessment first. Who do you have? Then start tactically making decisions of what you're going to do. Go ahead.
So I got a question.
Yep.
You know, when we talk about that, is there some way you could help like people who are just starting to evaluate as they're coming in a line? So I think if you make it a forced item, it's like, yep. I think maybe a good example would be like, all right, we're going to put these two lines together. And as soon as you hit, you know, somebody hits that front, you pull any one person is like, can you, when you know, in front of the line, can you tell me where the archers were? Or who
Sure.
the archers were? If
Right. Yep. Are there any archers? I didn't even mention looking at the archers.
How many fingers was I holding up?
Right. Gotcha. Yep.
Right? Is that a possibility?
No, absolutely. That's a great example of teaching that. Yeah, if we're going to do this, and I didn't think about drills, right? Drills and how to do it.
Not even a drill.
It's
kind of like, I'm thinking in my head how we could help.
Well, no, but that's absolutely a thing that you could do during your practice of going, and it's actually as important of a thing also for like squad commanders, yes. Right? Because they'll march their troops up there and they don't know what any of it is. And we don't teach that either, but that's exactly what it is. And really just that countdown of go, are there any, if you have spears, are there any archers that are going to kill us? Great. Who are the spears? How many spears compared to how many spears we have? Are we outgunned just going in, right? If we're even numbers, do we know enough to know that we are equal in quality or we're better? It's an important thing, actually, you know, as far as that goes. Or, hey, we've got no freaking spears and they've got 5. If we stand here, we're going to die. So let's go kill them. We're just going to go kill them because otherwise we're a pincushion. But yeah, I think that's a great way to do that, and to do it in a melee practice would be a great thing for people, and calling it out like that, going, stop, you just got here, who's the threat? Tell me what it is, right? What's the threat? Who can reach you? How many can reach you right now? I don't know. Yeah, well, you died.
You could literally just stop.
You died. That's what I mean.
Stop both sides.
Yep.
And say, okay,
Yep.
what's your assessment? What's
Yep.
your assessment? Lay on.
Right. Yep. Yes, exactly that. It's and it's weird because we never teach that. It all falls to experience. We go, well, we'll figure that out as we go along. And I think we can improve the process. I know we can because we've done it in the past as we're working with new people and you start talking in their ear, right? And so, and I'm very talkative when I'm on the battlefield with the guys on the other side with us. And I'm constantly, I'm calling out the threat. I'm talking to the person next to me. I'm going, just relax, take a step up. You can cover my left, and I'll kind of teach them that way. And I'll go, look to your left, look to your right. If I have a new spearman ever, I'll call shots for him. I'm shielding. I'm like, here we go. The guy to your right's open. Look there. Guy to your left. You got a target in front of you. You cannot take it. And I'll talk them through it as much as I can. So you can do it out there. But to be fair, I mean, I like doing it. So that's one thing. Most people don't, right? We're out there to fight. That's what it is. So you got to have a feel for wanting to teach. Grace, go ahead.
But to say it out loud, right?
Yep.
What you said, you can't talk too much, right? When you're training somebody,
True.
In that situation, you cannot talk too much.
Right. Absolutely. And so I encourage it to all of us as we're out there. Please take somebody to hand, especially when they're people you don't know, and realize you're going to get I don't know what to do. I'm not talking. You're bothering me. And that's all right. Help them anyway. Go, well, I'm going to protect you. How about that? Or I'm going to do this. Or sometimes I go, well, you're going to die and I'll step in your spot. Go ahead. And I've said that plenty of times to folks. And they're like, especially when you walk up and you have four shields in front of you and they're facing spears. And I go, hey guys, let me in. Let me in and I'll help you out. Yeah. Let me in or you're going to die. Let me in or you're, okay, I'm just going to wait. Because they're all just standing there. We're going to do this. But no concept of that. We ran into the two chucks 2 years ago, whatever, they're here, and they would just go squad to the front, and they would go up in front of everybody. They'd walk right in front of all of our spears, and then they're getting poked. And I'm like, well, this sucks. And I finally went, wait a minute, charge. And so literally every time they got up, I would just go, are you guys set? Charge. And they'd run. I'm like, okay, now experience. And we just start going. I mean, they'd create chaos. It was fine, but it was just from their part, a great example of lack of awareness. We're doing what we're told. We're actually blocking the battle. This is another area that happens quite often. You have commanders, pseudo commanders, whatever. People decide to yell orders on their own. And they're like, we need more spears or we need more shields. We hear that all the time, right? Get on up here. Shields to the front, right? And in reality, we've got 3 spears out there working. We've got a good thing going on. And all of a sudden you got a shieldman walking up and they're elbowing you out of the way and trying to step in front of you. And usually they're newer folks, right? And so, I try not to be rude and throw them off the field or throw them out of my way. But I mean, you've just hindered the whole battle and not even aware of it. So, that falls into, when we're talking about what's going on in the battle and tactics related to that being it. A lot of times when I talk about battlefield awareness, people will say, they'll go, well, yeah, we got to know how the battle's flowing and what's going on. And if we're going to get flanked, and I'm like, that is not your worry. You care about the 10 guys in front of you, and that's freaking it. If you get flanked, you're going to get flanked. There ain't shit you can do about it. And ideally, there is somebody in the 2 lengths back that's watching for that and do it. Most of the time, we aren't planned for it. But honestly, if I'm standing here in the line and we get flanked, I can die here or I can die here. That's where that's going to happen. That's really not where you want to be. That's the role of a commander behind you to deal with that and work on it. Focus on the threat you have, kill the threat in front of you, and you can go and kill everybody else. It's pretty much how that goes. Another very important thing about situational. Oh, go ahead, Grace.
So you were talking about when shields come up the front.
Shield the front thing. Yep.
Communication there helps, right? So when the shield's stepping up.
Yep.
Shield on your left, shield on your right.
Right.
And then at least they're talking.
Yes.
And they might be open to the listening part you talk about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if they would come up doing that, that's anytime a shieldman does that for me, where they say, I'm on your left, That's exactly the communication we want. I'm on your left. I mean, every time my son does it, I get killed. But because he's like, I got your left, Dad. Blam, and I get hit. I'm like, what? I could be doing that on purpose. But but that communication is both ways. The challenge I was having is they were just literally stepping in front and on a should be doing is going, I am tucking in here and this is what I'm doing from that standpoint. Absolutely from there. So kind of a change of the flow of where we're talking about situational awareness. The other is about battlefield safety. And this is really important. Understanding, and I'm not talking about don't trip, don't do that, but that's a big thing too, right? You're backing a group up, let them know they're about to trip over a set of freaking hay bales, right? I mean, it's just so, there was a time in my life I loved to just run and hit them and make them do that. But the truth is, it sucks and I don't need my ankle broken, neither do they. And tell them, we're having a fun battle, for God's sakes. It's not that big of a deal. But the biggie though is who your opponents are, and specifically when someone's not taking shots, okay? We all get mad, somebody's being a thug, they're doing whatever. Well, and our response always is, well, we're gonna hit that person harder, right? Take a breath and go, who am I looking at here? Is this person brand new? What are they wearing? Are they even aware they're being hit? And most of the time we'll realize we've got somebody that just doesn't know, right? That's okay. They're not actually a threat. I'm not talking about necessarily it happens as well, the guy that charges through the line and doesn't take shit, but out there that you're poking with a spear or whatever, realize you do not have to break that person, to teach a lesson here. Just leave them be. If you get a chance to talk to them about after the battle. They're not causing a difference in anything. They're standing there filling a hole. Too often we will literally start unloading on them. The other occurs is as soon as we start unloading on that one, we start unloading on everybody else. We cannot hold the whole line accountable for one guy or girl being an asshole, right? Because invariably, the next guy over is the brand new guy who we just took his head off and broke him, and that was a horrible experience, right? Try to get good enough that you're aware of what is happening in the battle and aware that it's okay to reach out and touch somebody in the cup or in the belly or in the cheek and lay your spear there because you can take their head off, and that they may not take that. Even though you're being friendly, you're just going, hey, I got you. They may go, no, I'm not going to take that, and not get mad about it. It's okay. You're just making it aware that first, hopefully they see the example if we don't take their head off the next time, which is what we could do because you could just drop them. But it's not worth it. Honestly, it's just not worth it. I don't feel like breaking somebody's ribs is something I need to do, because when I was nice and did not hit them with a legal shot, they didn't take it, right? It's okay. But I think you should always go on the nice side anyway, knowing they'll do that. I mean, we just should, right? If Brano steps up across me with a spear and I have him dead to rights and he can't see me, I don't need to break his ribs. I'm just going to touch him and he'll look and go, thank you, right? Thank you. We know, right? We've all been plowed in the nuts or wherever else, and it's just, there's no need for it, right? We're all excited. We're having a good time. You can have a battle without like physically trying to hurt people when we don't need to, right? It's all of us, and this, I mean, that happens in singles fights as well, whatever. I don't have to go too far on that.
Well, the hard part is you create that bad feeling and it just grows from
it. Goes so fast.
It goes so fast. And then you have safety all across the field.
Yeah. And then we got everybody going, we're hitting too hard, we're doing this.
Fun. Nobody's having fun.
It's not. That absolutely. And then we got the Crown stopping us and everything there. And there's just any need for it, right? I mean, I want to go out and have a great battle with you. And afterwards you look at me and go, I got the beer or you're buying, bitch. And then I'm like, fuck yeah, that was awesome, right? And I've developed so many relationships with other spearmen throughout the SCA just because of that, because I'm having a conversation with them, and every time we see each other, we have a great time. And every time we see each other and we're bent over or falling in the dirt, it's like, I got you, you're dead, go ahead on out of there. And I'm thankful as hell that happens as far as that goes. So awareness of the people around you, awareness with the quality around you, you know, educate while you can. Don't hurt them to educate them. As long as they're not a safety issue. If they're a safety issue, take them off the field. Just stop what you're doing, take them off the field. It's fine. That's
Get a marshal.
yeah. It's just a thing. Don't worry about it. Anytime it's a safety issue, do that. But don't. We don't have to. They said light. I get it. I get they said light. But in this case, assess whether they even know what that means, because they probably don't. I mentioned briefly the hay bale things, but that's across the board, right? You know, it's a big deal tactically. I mean, it's different out here than it is on the West Coast. On the West Coast, you can you have death from behind, you have things like that. Here we don't, right? We have rules of engagement. Honestly, every time I'm bringing my unit on somebody's flank, I just tell them we're coming. Here we go. Here we go. I get that the surprise moment of us smashing into them probably tactically would be better, but in the end, I don't care, right? They still have to turn to face us, or they don't, and it still works out the same way. And I didn't get people smashed and ankles breaking and the whole thing, and somebody yelling we weren't engaged or whatever, and whining about that type of stuff. So pay attention to that type of things. We want to have fun. We want to be able to have fun the next day, and I am all of what?
Let people know you're having fun.
Absolutely.
Because
That's exactly.
tell you, the same as they get mad, everybody gets mad. If I've been on a line over there and everybody's like, literally by the end of the battle, somebody's running outside of you because they got through around your line, and they're just like, hey, and you're like, oh, I'll take it. Yeah. And they're not even touching you anymore, but you've been beaten.
You know they got you.
And everyone's like, hey, thank you very much, and everybody's just happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And my day ends way better that way than it does where we're hauling somebody off in a cart because they got a broken ankle or a broken rib or whatever that is. What was that again?
You don't like a crushed spine?
You know, I like to hit somebody as much as the next, but no, not really. I don't want to hurt somebody. And don't get me wrong, I'm as bad as everybody else. When there's been times when I've lost my temper and I'm from somebody, but I very much tried to grow out of that as I've gotten more experienced and realized there's no winner out here really if we have a bad time. Right? It doesn't matter who the score was. It doesn't matter any of that. If we go home from this event and all we can remember is that shitty thing that happened, I don't want to come back, right? And that's not what it's about. Melee is the funnest thing we do, hands down. I love it. We can put new people out there. We can do all this stuff with it. We can have this great freaking scrum that tactically might be terrible or whatever else, but everybody feels like a hero to some extent. And that's what we're trying to create. That's the important thing about the whole deal. I don't give a crap really which side wins or not. I like a good fight, believe me. I don't like to get my ass kicked. There's no doubt about that. I hate going out with a unit and we just get rolled, but I'm not mad, right? I'm like, they had our better today. That's good. I need to go practice more is what needs to happen there. All right. So I talked about the safety issue. We talked about people, tactics. What am I missing? Are there other things about situation awareness that I've missed as a topic? Anybody can think about that?
I think the biggest part probably, like you gave the idea, and then you said it multiple times, and that is that, that it's the 10 people in front of you. Everybody's like, what do I got to know on this giant field? You got to know those 10 people in front of you. I think just review that. And you're right. If somebody as a commander, those other commanders have to know, hey, it's not about knowing the 10 guys. It's about knowing those 5 units in that area of the battle.
Right.
And then the larger commander above that, out of those, now you got to know 10 units, and you should, and again, not just know those units, but know how strong the unit is.
Sure.
And how, that's all spear unit. That's mostly shields.
I think
all those guys are 300 pounds.
I think you're so cute that you go, we have 10 units that we know what they are. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. I have never had 10 units I knew what they were. I guess I'm from small little kingdoms, so it's just... But it holds. It absolutely holds. As a commander, you should be thinking on a squad level to a company level and know what that means. And you treat that the same way and you deploy that. But us as the individuals in that unit, you might be a line sergeant, you might be the leader of your 5-man squad. That's fine. So your awareness focus is slightly different on, we want to do something more than just kill these 10 people in front of us. We need to actually get to the 12 over there. That's an additional thing, but that's teaching command and what to do there. On the individual level, when you're out there and, you're part of the Army, I'm doing the things I need to do. I want to do those with people So we're doing them together. Don't always get that, you know, but I'd like to. And I want to have an understanding of what I'm facing so I actually know what to do against that. Because in the end, whatever my commander wants me to do, we still have to go through them. That's where we are. So focus there, finish that, go to the next task, and move on and do what you want to do. I think that's what I've got on the topic. Go ahead. We got a question? Go ahead. Yep.
I know you mentioned earlier about focusing on the 10 people in front of you.
Yeah,
Don't
yep.
worry about the whole battle.
Yep.
What about your unit's responsibility within the battle towards the battle objectives? Do you concern yourself with that at all? Or
I said that's the commander's
Thank you.
role of that. Yeah.
Clarify
Yeah. I'm saying like I'm part of a unit, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just somebody that just walked up in the line, right? Whatever it is. But yeah, I'm not. It's not in the command structure. That's a different. Absolutely. That means your commander should know, and hopefully, if you actually have a unit with commands and all that stuff, you know what our objective is for that battle.
So in that respect, if you're in the line, you should be listening to your commander if they're trying to move you somewhere.
If you actually have a commander in there, you're absolutely right. And I mean, we still have a few kingdoms that actually have commanders at that level, and they do it. And I mean, I think I said yesterday, you know, when I was general here, yeah, I literally walked up to the second rank and I was the general, and I'm just throwing people where they need to go because honestly, I had no tactical control of any units is what I had. I had 3 things, but yes, that's absolutely a big deal. I'm not saying not to do that by any means. I'm specifically talking about kind of as the individual when you walk up there, so you don't die immediately. Number one, these are the things that you need to know and be aware.
So this is more of a separate thing from the battlefield awareness. You're talking more about as individuals and part of your.
I'm talking about battlefield awareness from a standpoint of an individual. Yes, that's it. What each person needs to know, and the commanders need to know that and more.
Okay.
Right. Yes. That's okay. Yep. Thank you.
I think it's super important that you drove down to that level.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We always talk about the commander level, right? And never talk about the guys down below that are doing the job of whatever it is. And so,
like I said, like you brought up, it's like shieldmen just shield to the front. They're not looking. They don't know that guy just killed the 12 shieldmen that came to the front.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing at all. They're just getting there because that's what they were told to do. Right. And so, yeah, that's the thing.
Only to follow up on that point, because this is an excellent example. When the hole opens up in front of you, it's usually because somebody died there.
That's good situation awareness. Why did they die? And I can absolutely state that you should pay attention to where ballistas are. I think it was my 3rd Pennsic or something, and when we had the castle, and you ended up going around the castle, and you just ended up in ranks, and you move forward right around that castle, and there was a ballista firing at 25 ranks ahead of me in the same spot over and over again, right? Killing people, right? And I walked, and we were talking and I walked into the spot and literally got hit by the ballista. Yeah, no situational awareness. That's what that would be called. Yeah. So, any other thoughts? Anybody else? Something I missed? Or questions or anything? Nope. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate the opportunity.